Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Alright, this one took place last summer. It's not particularly creepy to read about, but it just freaked me out when it happened. I wasn't particularly into alien conspiracies, but knew about the basic grays, everyone famous is a reptilian, etc. theories. Been interested in out-of-body experiences. Trying to have one regularly. Always ends in failure or dreams of out-of-body experiences. Not sure if dreams are real memories or dreams. Ends up with a lot of sleep paralysis. Not new to it, but still uncomfortable. Has first hypnagogic hallucinations. Shadow people, etc. Looks like a shadow person with a hat is picking up a child shadow. Creeped out. Decides to take a break from out-of-body experiences. Continues to wake up paralyzed for weeks regardless. Sleep schedule gets weird as I put off sleep. Start waking up between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Particularly bad episode of sleep paralysis. Wake up. It's dark, small amount of early morning light through the curtains. Decide to sit up to check the clock. Feels floaty like my dreams of out-of-body experiences. Come face to face with an alien standing by the bed, backlit from the window, obscures most of his face. I still can see an amazing amount of detail regardless of poor lighting. Looks sort of like E.T. crossed with a gray. About 5 feet at the shoulders. Shoulders seem wider than the torso. Lanky arms. Torso seems to slim a little towards the waist. Has rib-like features on the chest. Has a long neck, around 3 feet. Neck is snaked below his shoulders to peer down at me instead of bending his spine. Huge black eyes and small jaw, nose slits. Sort of rectangular head but distinctly heart-shaped. Brown. I can see skin texture. Looks a little leathery and wrinkled. Wrinkles in the neck make it look almost segmented or like a lizard's belly. Realize that it looks way too real for a dream. Shit bricks. Wakes up. Brushes it off as a freakishly detailed hallucination or dream. Why else would it look humanoid or like a well-known alien? Decides to Google long-necked alien just to humor the thought. Finds disturbingly similar pictures of a supposed encounter. Freaks out, pic-related. I'm still not really sure what to think about it. I want to believe that 2 separate people fused the gray and E.T. imagery together, just so I know that I won't end up getting probed. Though being able to say I saw an actual alien would be cool too.
Live in a small dairy farm in rural Pennsylvania. About 20 miles of cleared land and another 30 miles of uncleared forest is what the property consisted of. I lived there for 20 years, explored the woods almost every day, and never found all the stuff in it. B12, looking around the eastern part of it, mostly streams and more trees. Find some weird-looking den or cave-type place. Didn't look like an animal's. The make of it seemed more human-made. It was large enough for me to crawl in. I crawled through like 20 feet of near-liquid mud. Made it to a room high enough to stand, but low enough to do it uncomfortably. Start to hear a low rumble. The sort of rumble you hear when there's an earthquake in a movie. Stand there contemplating whether to go further or not. The rumbling stops and I march on. Go for 5 minutes in the den cave thing. Its walls seem to move and change while I'm there, but it was probably my imagination from poor illumination from my flashlight. Hear a whispered, "Hey, my britches are shat.jpg." Turn around and see about a 3-foot-tall humanoid with brown rags wrapped around him. Surprised, I blurted, "Holy crap, is this your house?" For some reason beyond my understanding, I felt an inkling of compassion for the guy and said, "Sorry if I offended you. It just surprised me, that's all." He asked who I was, and I said I was Anon. He said who he was. It was a name so distorted and unpronounceable that it confuses me to this day. I was going to ask what this place was when I was knocked out and awoke in the brush near my house 2 days later. Tried to go back to the place, but couldn't find it. It may not have been particularly scary, but it's unnerving to think that I met something that is beyond my understanding.
Well, I have a spook about fog. Me and 2 friends, let's call them A and Y, drinking and shit until about midnight. Live in a city that's cut in half by a river, so fog is normal. That night had a little fog. We decide to walk through the city and mess around. The fog begins to intensify. It begun getting really thick and cold. My friends and I think it's cool and keep horsing around completely drunk. This was about 1:30 a.m. Took the pic thinking the thick fog was so cool. Fog gets twice as thick as that by 2:30. Me and my friends got completely lost. Literally impossible to see a single foot ahead. Despair begins to set in. Tell my friends for us just to sit down, since the only reason we didn't get lost from each other was walking shoulder to shoulder. We sit down to wait for the fog to go away so we don't get even more lost. Fear and spookies are felt by all of us. But we are at least safe under this light post, right? And nothing bad could happen in the middle of a residential district, right? Suddenly black at 3 a.m. Oh, you must be shitting me. WebM. We look at each other with the cell phone flashlight. Extremely dark and ultra-dense fog. Suddenly a really loud scream from a house near us. A scream like someone stepped on a Lego made of daggers. Then all the houses around us begin screaming. Friend A bolts in the wrong direction from the sheer nope. Me and friend Y bolt in the right direction without even thinking. About 20 minutes pass and I keep running or jogging forward. The screams are completely left behind since long ago. Both friends are gone. I'm alone and super spooked in zero visibility. The lights come back on. Oh, thanks, sweet baby Jesus. Avi. Eventually find my way home since the fog got less and less dense after that. The next day I spoke to friend Y and he got home okay too. But friend A got home the next day around midnight. He never spoke to either of us or any other friend after that. Never been so spooked in my whole life.
Sleep over at a friend's house in 5th grade. 4 friends slept over too. 5 of us. Walk to 7-Eleven at like midnight. Get there around 12:30. Leave around 1 a.m. While we are leaving, we see a homeless man in all black rags pushing a wheelbarrow with a black tarp over it. There was something poking out, but too dark to tell. My best friend to this day still got an idea. We recently watched It. He runs up to the homeless man and shouts in a pretty damn good impression, "Hiya Georgie!" Homeless man runs off pushing the wheelbarrow at the speed of light. What the fuck was that? We all think. Hang around for a minute talking about what the fuck happened. Decide to go home. We all are walking uphill in the opposite direction of where the homeless man ran. That's the way back home. As we walk, we look up the hill and see the homeless man. He's standing there completely still, just waiting there. Fuck this. Wav. Go the long way home around him. Make it to my friend's house at like 2 a.m. Around 2:30 a.m., somebody ran down the street really fast past his house. Couldn't tell who it was, but we thought it was the Guernsey hobo. Base camp in his attic until the sun came up. And that's the story of the Guernsey hobo.
This happened when I was 15. Still pretty spooky looking back. Military family, stationed in Germany. Start reading shit online about the occult. Find some site recommending books with rituals, etc. Buy a book. Spooky leather-bound book, don't have it anymore. gather shit for a basic ritual, worshipy type of thing for Satan, black candles, Baphomet statue, the works. One day when my parents aren't home, get the shit out and follow the book exactly. It calls for blood. Go through with it. Candles go out. Fuck, it didn't work. Go watch TV. Nothing good is on. 30 minutes later, out of boredom, decide to have an OBE via astral projection. Basically end up falling asleep instead and see nothing but scary shit. What I saw is how you would imagine hell, but less cheesy. Wake up, list the book and ritual shit on eBay the next day, months later. Leaving Germany to move to Italy. In a hotel, still 15. Have my own room since they were really cheap and also had one bed. Run around and do shit all day with my friends before I have to leave. Nighttime. Trying to lucid dream and shit, falling in and out of sleep. Have a ton of sleep paralysis instead. Attempt astrally projecting because why the fuck not? Fail. Get super scared and paranoid. Constantly looking around the room and behind me at all times to make sure nothing is there. Hear a small grunt. Paralyzed with fear, sitting up in bed. Listen for more. Eyes wide open, yet I see nothing in a nearly pitch black room. Hear stuff falling around the room. Run into the bathroom. Lock myself in there. Sit in there and stare at the wall for 30 minutes until I hear a scratch on the door. Wait. End up staying up all night, paranoid and tired. Yup.
B16. Me and a friend decide to visit a nearby park at 11 p.m. because it was a clear night. Sit at a pond and watch the moon. Have deep talk and quality time. Friend suddenly shudders. A shiver ran down my spine and I got goosebumps at the same time. We laugh it away. Approximately 1 hour later, we hear an annoying hiss-like sound every 5 to 10 minutes. Get a bit spooked and decide to go home. Hear that sound on the way home and still in the park again and look around. Friend sees something not too far away in a dark path near a street lamp. What the hell is that? It looked like a fat child with something big on its shoulders that bent a bit to the side, but it's not moving. The sound came from a different direction. Just as we wanted to move on, it suddenly ran right in our direction in a creepy, crippled way. Double nope, nope, nope. We run for our lives. Friend starts screaming. I start crying. Nobody is in this park or on the streets near it this night. Run even faster. Finally reaching a pub where my friend's drunk parents laughed at us. That feel when we originally wanted to play Silent Hill after that, but ended up watching Comedy Central the whole night to calm down.
This story isn't all that creepy. I don't know what she was, maybe a guardian angel. Me, B6 in kindergarten. Sitting at the lunch tables really had to go. Had to ask for an escort to the restroom. A nice old lady with short gray hair, a white windbreaker, blue jeans, and tennis shoes takes me. She tells me she'll wait outside the restroom for me. Come back out. She isn't there. Walk into the cafeteria confused. The principal yells at me. Inform her about the nice old lady. Give full description. The principal shows me the security tapes. Tapes show me raising my hand, getting up with a smile, talking to myself on the way to the restroom. She didn't show up on the camera. No other kids saw her. Fast forward 3 years. I moved 1,350 miles cross-country, sitting on a playground swing by myself listening to a tape cassette. Hear someone call my name somehow. Look around. No one's here. Continue swinging. Get a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach a few minutes later. Get chills. See the old lady again. Double take .gif. Wearing the exact same old lady garb she was 3 years ago. She waves at me and points in the direction of my house. I decided it was time to go home. I found out later that night there was a child snatched from that playground I was on maybe 15 minutes after I left. The kidnapper was probably watching me the entire time. There was no one else on that playground when I was there.
I'm schizoaffective, and I have a story I would like to share with you. It might not be scary. It might even seem like crazy bullcrap to you. But it is my story. So here goes. I've heard voices my entire life. I've always been able to reflect on my illness, and I realized I was sick. Once I realized that, I managed to keep my voices under control of sorts. I'm not on medication. I go to school, and I've not been in an institution for several years. However, there was this one place where I was admitted. A bit off the map in my country, and just a few patients. The doctor there was very Freud, or should I say fraud. He would tell me stuff like I was 10 in the head, that my mother had ruined me, and that I was a liar and a thief, which obviously I'm not. One day a lady arrived, and I was sort of happy because that meant I wasn't the only lady in there. But she was weird. I befriended her because she was really nice. In fact, she was kinda awesome. We'd buy beer and sneak off, drinking in the woods and going straight to bed to pretend we'd been there all along. We did a lot of crazy shit. What do you expect, really? It's a facility for crazy people. She kept seeing witches. I don't know, but reading this thread made me go, she wasn't the only one to see witches, and therefore I decided to tell my story. However, she would see a specific witch, and she told me that the witch was my shrink's mother. I thought that made perfect sense. No wonder he was such a dick. Anyway, the lady was super awesome. The shrink didn't really care, but the other people that worked there tried to convince me not to hang with her, saying she was nothing but trouble. I didn't fucking listen to them, the scumbags, trying to break a friendship like ours. And then she was gone. Like, gone. Her room was still messy. She shared a room with me. Her things were everywhere, and she was just gone. I told them to go look for her, but they were all being complete assholes and refused me, saying I needed to get some more rest and that I shouldn't bother looking for her. I was convinced they were covering something up. Those assholes would pay. But then again, something was nagging at me. Something very obvious when one thinks about it. I asked them her name and they couldn't tell me. Know why? She wasn't real. She wasn't, goddamn, real. It was my stuff cluttering my room. She was my perfect imaginary friend, and I hadn't noticed. I was so freaked out, I tried to kill myself, because she had been so damn real. That night, she turned up in my room and tried to convince me she was real. I didn't listen to her and asked her to go away. She told me she'd be back, but she never did come back. I'm happy about that. Holy shit, I was all hysteric and stuff. It was scary as fuck.
2009. Be a soldier of the Mountain Corps, guarding a fort with another guy in the middle of the Alps. Nothing around other than old World War I trenches. First week is damn boring. Nothing to do than watch the forest covered in snow, hoping for a war, to have some fun. One night the power generator dies. Pitch black in this big-ass fort. We turn on an old stove so we don't freeze during the night. The coal finishes. It's my turn to go to the warehouse and take some more. It's 300 meters from the main fort, after the trenches, near the forest. I take some still burning coal inside a pot and put it under my coat. Walking in the snow. Complete silence, and the pot is nicely warm. Feels good. JPG. Finally, I see the warehouse. I stop in front of it. Keep hearing steps in the snow after I stop. I point the flashlight to my left. A fucking wolf was stalking me. The biggest I ever seen. Big like a bit smaller than a veal. His head and hind legs are disproportionate, bigger. I make the most girly scream of my entire life, throwing the pot full of burning coal at that monster. Headshot. I pick up my pistol while it jumps back in pain and scared. I shoot 3 times. I miss all the shots. Nope. Usain Bolt mode all the way back in the pitch black. The other guy asks why I'm screaming and locking the door. I explain what happened. We burned the furniture all night.
20-something, hanging out with friends. Their neighborhood was rich, secluded. The neighborhood was built on Indian burial grounds. Hundreds of stories of ghosts, satanic rituals, and people just being generally insane. Telling stories at night, and one comes up about the tower. One of the biggest lots in the neighborhood has a concrete tower hidden in the woods away from everything. The owner used to be a doctor. A friend claims he was back there several times. First time, he saw empty bottles labeled hydrochloric acid, a hole in the top of the tower that a body can fit in. Around that time, a little girl went missing. He thinks the body was dumped in there. Second time he's there, the owner sees him and starts blasting at him with a shotgun. A few years ago, they found the owner shot out of state lying dead in a sewage ditch, shot in the back. I call bullshit. My friends offer to take me to the tower the next morning. Dress up in full camo to hike to the tower, walking through woods thicker than shit. It's like the jungle and Predator. Finally get there. My friend starts taking pictures. No empty bottles, but we climb on top and look through the hole. My friend climbs in there looking for a body. Don't find shit. Friend still thinks there's a body in there. Also thinks someone dumped chemical waste in there. Gets the pictures developed. The picture of the tower has some bright orb flash on it. He thinks it's the little girl's ghost. My face when he calls the EPA. They send a bunch of helicopters flying around the place. They send people to interrogate the current owners. Turns out it's just an old irrigation tower in disrepair. The EPA finds the owners and orders them to seal up the tower. My face when my friend is now a cop.
Never told this story before, but here goes. Be me. Be about 10 to 11 years old. Living in a 3-story condo with my parents and younger brother, 1 bedroom on the top floor. The attic is also on the top floor with the door on the opposite side of my room in a small hall after the stairs. Every other room, including the master bedroom and my brother's room, is on the bottom floor. Everything was fine for a while. Always been a loner, don't mind living away from everyone. A few months, maybe, go by with everything being okay. One night something goes wonky with our hot water heater or something, and they have to go to the attic to fix it. They fix the problem. Nighttime comes. Go to bed. Wake up about 3 a.m. or so. See the attic door open. See something standing in the door. Try to ignore it and go back to sleep, secretly terrified. Hear a loud bang. Look back and now the door is shut. Feel relieved that the door is shut but still shaken. Turn to roll over in bed. See a shady figure in the corner of the room. Close my eyes and yell as loud as I can for my mom. A minute later or so, my mom has run all the way up to my room and the lights are all on. Everyone is concerned for me, thinking I hurt myself or something. Tell them what I saw. They blame it on watching too many horror movies. They never let me live that down. They continued to tease me about it for years. I have a few other weird stories that happened in that place, but none as terrifying as that one. I still get freaked out and a little shaken recalling the story.
I'll contribute, but it isn't really that creepy. Early life in Devon, countryside of England. From about 5 to 13, hallucinate when sick. Important to know, I was sick a lot. Missed a whole year of school once. After a hallucination, tell my mum about a nightmare of a tall man, not slender man. Vaguely remember the dream taking place at Totnes train station. Get chased by the tall man, hide in a car, think he's gone. Suddenly he crouches and stares at me through the window. Wake up and hallucinate. Mum tells me about various ones, but these are the three I remember, so only ones I can be sure happened. 1. Run into my mum's room and shout that there's a fire. She runs outside with me, didn't check for fire or ask where. Realises I'm freaking out and suggests we go back in. I'm sitting on the ground in tears saying something like, "My family." 2. Mum hears me talking downstairs at like 2 a.m, sitting on the couch in the dark, talking to people. Tell them don't stare when my mother asks what I'm doing. 3. Mum hears me sobbing on the toilet, comes to check. Just going the house? Remember visualising a house in the snow and cogs turning. Most distressing image ever. These are the bits I can't really figure out and wonder if there is something I'm not seeing. Demon. One time, wake up and scream about them moving. Have an asthma attack. Never had one before or since. I'm 25 now. On the way to the hospital, tell my mum the pictures were moving. Moved to the USA at 19, join the army. Get sick overnight and put on quarters, like a hospital barracks for sick soldiers in training. Don't have the dream, but hallucinate. The guard says I was walking up and down the room like on a thin beam. Puts me back to bed. Have the dream, but this time get grabbed by the tall man before getting to the car. Just grapple and visualise the cogs and the house in the snow. The guard says I shouted "No!", jumped out of bed and sprinted out of the room and tried to get out the locked door. Wake up at the admin desk with a cold compress on my head and get told about my attempted escape. Never get sick or hallucinate again. A few months later, my little brother is diagnosed as schizophrenic. To this day, he still has episodes. I'm the only one he asks for when he has them. I'm the only one who can calm him down. So I wonder if something was latched to me. And moving away or taking these steps to become a stronger person made it give up and choose my younger brother. Also, when it was just my mother and I, she was involved in a lot of alternative stuff. Part of the Christian community in rural, middle-of-nowhere England, practiced crystal healing and such, maybe dabbled with something occult. When I think about it, my life is weird.
Walking around at night. Parents' room is at a 90-degree angle to my room. While walking down the hallway, their room is in front of me while my room is to the left. See a figure standing right the fuck in the doorway with a white dress. Literally 5 feet away from me. Almost piss myself and sprint into my room and turn on the light. Look out into the hallway. It's fucking gone. Holy fuck. Go under the covers and fall asleep at the crack of dawn. And here's another. Sleep in the basement almost every day because the desktop is in the basement. Fall asleep on the couch next to the PC. Wake up during the dead of night. Pitch black because the PC display turned off. Under the covers and feel a presence standing over me. Completely awake and still. It doesn't go away. Kinda stopped over the years. I guess whatever it was saw how fucking pathetic and sad I was, and decided that fucking around with me wasn't worth it.
Okay, here's mine. Be me around 21 years old, dark time of my life, addicted to oxymorphone and meth. Go to my buddy Q's flop house. We are tweaking out and fiending. Our thief junkie friend Ricky shows up with a bag of stolen shit. He pulls out this little sealed metal jar. We pry it open, and it's full of a white powdery substance. Jackpot! No way this is full of this much dope. We start attempting to smoke and snort this shit. Ricky even prepares a little syringe full of it for himself. Nothing happens. Q thinks it might be baking soda or filler. Look at the jar. It has Mom etched on it under another etching of a full name. Oh shit, we just consumed somebody's ashes thinking it was drugs. Thankfully, Ricky didn't shoot up the ashes. The person Ricky stole it from shows up a few weeks later. Q, the urn's owner, and Ricky are cleaning up his place. And by cleaning up his place, I mean carpet farming. The owner of the urn is a junkie girl around our age. She clears off the coffee table of trash, searching for meth. She notices the urn. OMG, where did you get this? Ricky says some junkie brought it over thinking it was drugs. The junkie chick is sobbing. I'm sitting there questioning what the hell I am doing with my life. She tries to pick out all the cigarette butts, needle cottons, and chewed gum Q and Ricky had thrown into the urn. I'm sitting there thinking about going to church and repenting or something. Ricky starts up a clandestine lab. I am physically ill from experiencing this and go to my folks' house and cry.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.